This message is for anybody who knows somehow that deep down they're actually unhappy and not like fulfilled with their life so far. Because I feel like I think there's a lot of women out there like that. Women that put on a tough front to seem like they're okay. Women that go to work to make their money so they can be strong and independent, and that whole narrative. But deep down, like, are you really happy? For some people, sure. But I think for a lot of women, that's not the case. And it's hard to go against everything you've ever known about success and happiness and living a fulfilled life. And so I was one of those people. I grew up being shown that success and happiness is somewhat revolved around money, or being able to pay your bills easily and on time, and being able to work a 9-to-5, a corporate job or something like that, and I was always pushed to live that life. And the more I got older, the more I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I felt pressure right out of high school trying to choose what career I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it just seems so odd, because like, who really knows what they want to do for the rest of their whole lives? But also, I was being pushed into something that I didn't necessarily want to do, and thankfully somehow I knew get out of it before I got too deep into school and in debt and everything. So I was ready to go to a 4-year college and do the whole thing. 2 weeks before, I said, no, can't do this, and I didn't. I took a semester off to just work and figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I joined an esthetician program just kind of on a whim, because I knew it was something that would be cool and fun to do, just to help like other women feel good about themselves, and also to learn about myself and my own skin and all that. And I ended up really, really loving it, which was great. So now I have a skill that I can use for the rest of my life. But also, I've learned over the past couple of years that work doesn't have to be my life. Since I was maybe 7 or 8, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get married when I'm 21, start having a kid start having babies when I'm 22, and then I'll have 3 or 4 kids. 22, at 22, I'll have another baby in 2 years, and every 2 years I'll have a baby. Well, I'm 24. I'm not married. I don't have any kids, but that's okay. It'll happen soon. Hopefully, God willing. I guess the point of this is that it's okay to not know what you want to do with your life. Because I didn't know for a long time. And a couple years ago, well, throughout the past 2 years, well, I've realized that I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life because I thought I had to choose a career to do. I thought I had to figure out what school I wanted to go to get to that career. I thought I had to figure out how much money I wanted or needed to make to live successfully and to be happy. And I've come to realize that I didn't know what I wanted to do because I don't want to do any of those things. And that's okay. I just have to figure out how to mold my life in the way that I want it to go. I figured out that that I just want my family. And then I'll be successful. In 8th grade, I was in 7th grade. Don't remember what the lecture was about, don't remember what the topic was about in class that day, but I do remember my teacher asking us, what do you think it means to be successful? And everybody's like, oh, having a good job, being able to buy a house and like all these different things, having whatever you want and whatever. 7th grade, I was like, well, I think success is just based off of your happiness. And my teacher looked dumbfounded, and I think back to that all the time. I think back to that all the time because even then, when I was, 13, I knew it's always been in me that I didn't need to live the typical corporate lifestyle to be successful. Success to me would be just be living a happy, peaceful life. And that's it. I just want my man. I want 4 kids. Want to have those babies without an epidural. Or at least one of them, because I want to know what it's like. And I just want to create the family that I never really had. Like, I grew up with both of my parents in my house. I'm the youngest of 5. And yeah, we had a busy household. But there was a lot of things that were lacking. A lot of things that there was an excess amount of. And I'm gonna create the life for my children that I always wanted. crazy enough, I found the person that I can do it with. But found the person that I can do it with, that I want to do it with. We just have to get to that point. And that's okay. It'll take time. I'm very patient. It's okay to want to be a little different from your friends, or from it's okay to do something different than what other people are telling you to do. Like, since I'm the baby of the family, I tend to be a people pleaser. So for 20 years I was just trying to please people, please everyone around me. And I thought I was happy, but ultimately deep down, not at all. This man has showed me. I get emotional. He's showed me what my true happiness looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, everything. He has showed me how to live for myself without caring about whether somebody likes it or not. And this is really hard for me to do. Very, very challenging. It still is. But with the help of him, with his knowledge and advice and all these stories that he's shared with me, plus like my own help, and this one book stands out to me. It's called The Courage to Be Disliked. I heard about it on a podcast, and it intrigued me, so I got it. It's really good. Anybody that is a people pleaser, please go read the book. I don't like reading books. I'm the worst. And I finished it in about a week or so. It's all dialogue, so it's really easy to follow. Yeah, I just want my family. That's it. I just want to be able to be home during the day and raise my family, be there for my kids, and just have him come home to just have him come home to like a nice smelling house with like a freshly cooked steak and apple pie and oven. Well, maybe not apple, maybe pecan. But because I lived that life. I mean, we didn't have kids, but he'd come home, or he'd come home, and I'd have dinner cooking. I'd love being able to make a meal and be like, here you go. Give me your thoughts, give me your critiques, tell me what's good, what's not good. Like that makes me happy to just to give something back to him. And some may say like, oh well, like you're just cooking a meal and whatever, but like he doesn't want to cook the meal, and like I would love to, because what he's been working all day, been dealing with the stress of everybody else, and just creating that space, the home feeling. It's just so rewarding. And to come home to like a warm, loving home? Nobody. But who actually does go home to a warm, loving home? My guess is not many people. Also, by the way, all of this is very new to me, like new within the past couple of years. I didn't grow up like that, like, yeah, sure, like, my mom was home throughout the week while my dad was working. They had opposite schedules, so my mom was home during the week, my dad was home on the weekends. So yeah, my dad would come home from work to a nice clean house and dinner ready at 5:30 every day. And yeah, that was nice. But like, sorry to say this, mom and dad, but it just seemed fake. It just seemed, now that I'm thinking about it, like it just seemed forced. Because we would have dinner, sit there, say grace, but it wasn't necessarily meaningful. It was just routine. In my family, it's going to be meaningful. When my man and I pray before dinner, it's meaningful. It's not bless us, O Lord. It's whatever we feel at the time. And that's what makes it special, because it's not routine. It's not the same prayer every day over and over and over again. My kids are gonna have a loving household. My kids are gonna not think it's weird when they see their parents being affectionate and showing love to each other. No, they're gonna think like, ugh, my parents, so in love. I hope, anyway. But also to live that lifestyle, like to give a warm household to your man when he comes home. You can't, like, I don't want him to get home and me still being in my pajamas, like looking like I just rolled out of bed because, like, oh well, I already have him, so who cares? No. It's like literally why people get divorced. I mean, of course, among other things, but I'm sure it would help. Like, I keep myself up. Like, keep yourself up so that he wants to come home to you. Keep yourself looking good, because men are visual. Like, I don't care what everybody else says or thinks, and you know what the new narrative is, but men are biologically visual creatures. That's all there is to it. So give them something nice to look at. Don't just say like, oh well, you need to love me for me, and you're like, you know, 5'2" and 200 pounds. Like, sorry, but And maybe some men are into that, but I can pretty much guarantee you that any man would rather be with someone fit, in shape. Even if you're on the thicker side, be fit. Don't be like a glutton. If you want this lifestyle, don't be a glutton. I was on the road to a life of being a glutton, of not taking care of myself, not staying in shape, not making good, healthy decisions for myself. I was on that road. Luckily, I met this man, and I wanted to change for him, because that's how that's just how much I love him. I wanted to change certain things about myself. I wanted to create like this healthier lifestyle for myself, to be with him. And there's so many people out there that would tell me, no, don't do it for a man, do it for yourself and whatever. And like, okay, like, yes, I am changing. I have changed a lot for him, but ultimately it's for myself. Why? Because I want him, because I want to be with him, because being with him would make me oh so happy. So ultimately it is for myself. Why can't people see that? Just because I want the help of a man, because I don't want to be like the strong, independent woman, like changing her own tires on her car and things like that. Like, I don't want to do that. That's why you gotta get a man to do those things for you. But he's only gonna do those things for you if you do other things for him. You can't just say, do this, do that. No. That's when they're gonna wanna look elsewhere. No, don't do that. And also, that's just kind of mean. I like making him dinner, having him come home to a nice clean household, so that way he would gladly say, sure babe, I'll go change your tire for you. It's a give and take. I don't care about changing my tire just for the satisfaction of knowing that I can. Like, yeah, sure, I could go figure it out and I could change it on my own, but do I want to? No. Would it be like a billion times harder for me to do it myself? Yeah. No, I'd much rather just create an easier lifestyle. Men and women were created to complement each other. We are different for a reason. Just embrace the differences. We don't have to be the same. We don't have to, like, men don't need to learn how to do laundry and cook and clean and do all of those things, because women are just naturally better at it. Like, guys don't care about the way that you fold a shirt and the way that it fits in the drawer. Women do. we do. Even when he's like trying to help me with laundry or something, I'm like, oh no, it's okay, I'll do it, thank you for helping, but I'll do it. And he's the same way. If I'm like, I go back to like, you know, trying to be like that strong woman when he's doing something, you know, handy or something. He's like, no, like, it's okay. Like, he does the same thing to me. Like, it's okay, Marissa, I got this. Don't worry about it. And it works. It works. Why? Because there's less stress on both of us. There's less stress. There's less, like, we're just happier. I don't know how else to put it. I just don't understand why people can't just celebrate both men and women and our differences. People are only celebrating women, and nowadays women aren't that great. Women don't like to like that like typical woman, strong woman. Like, everybody's like, oh, you're so beautiful just the way you are, but like, are you? Like, sure, you may have, you know, great eye makeup on and a full face of makeup, but like, you're in sweats. I went into the mall a few weeks ago, into Victoria's Secret. The girl was able to wear a full-on sweatsuit, like just a baggy crew neck and baggy sweats with a full face of makeup on, and she was at work like that. Like, I'm thinking, like, don't you want to present yourself better than that? Like, who cares if you have nice makeup on? Nobody's gonna respect you like that. Nobody's gonna take you seriously like that. Everybody's just gonna look at you like you're a 15-year-old girl that doesn't know anything in life, anything. And you know what? I'm sorry to say this, but like, she probably doesn't. Like, the way you present yourself to the world is important. If you want to present yourself in sweats with your hair up in a messy bun all the time, then okay, but I don't think that's going to get you further into life. The past couple of years, I have started to care more about my outer appearance. I have I've been changing up my style, and I really like 40s, 50s, and 60s era style, and I've just been embracing like my natural curves, my like the feminine sides of myself. And you know, I feel so much happier going out in something that I know like really is flattering on me. And I'm not saying like anything like super revealing or anything like that. It doesn't have to be at all. It just has to fit you well. It just has to complement your figure, and you will look so much better. People will respond to you so much, so different. People will show you more respect. And why? Because they can tell that you respect yourself just by getting ready in the morning, like just by not being lazy, basically. Like, I used to go out and I just got done with my workout, so I'm wearing leggings and, you know, this. I would go out like this before all the time, like, oh, no big deal, who cares, everybody does it type of mentality. Now I feel gross. I'm like, why am I going out in this? Like, this is gym clothes, not anything else. It's strictly for the gym, and that's it. But you know, athleisure. My main point is that it's okay. It's okay. I'm still being pushed daily to go back to school, get this job, get that job, make this amount of money a year, and have all these nice things and whatever, I'm still told every day to do all of those things. And of course, like, you know, I'm not going to be disrespectful to the people that are telling me this, because ultimately they do just want a good life for me, and that's what they think would be a good life for me. So I can understand that, but I don't have to agree with it, and that's okay. It's okay to have different goals, opinions, views than the people around you. It's okay to be different than the majority. And, you know, people may not like you, but you're gonna like yourself. And it sounds so cliche, but it's so true. I've heard it in like so many different things, like, oh, like, you need to love yourself, you need to respect yourself, you need to like yourself before anybody else can. And I didn't know how true that was until probably like this past year. Like, for years, it's like it just like went in one ear out the other. It didn't really like stick with me. I couldn't really fathom what that was like, because at the time I thought I did like myself. And the more and more I dig deeper into myself and who I have been as a person, it's like, well, no, I there's a lot of sides of me that I don't like about myself, things that I have changed already, things that I'm continuing to grow on. And of course everybody's like, oh, it's just because this guy is trying to change you and blah blah blah. And like, and first of all, it's my decision what I want to do. It's my decision if I want to change or not change, and for who I want to change for. That's ultimately my decision. So I don't think anybody should say anything, because it is my decision. But also, it's not like, you know, it's not like this man is like, hey, go rob a bank with me. You need to do this to show me that you love me. No. He's like, hey, you know, can you just keep up with your fitness? Like, yeah, okay. Who would have a problem with that? Why is it such a big issue for a man to tell a woman, hey, I want you to be in shape because that's what I like to see? What is the big issue? What is the big issue? It's like, yeah, sure, he benefits from it, but so do I. I feel so much better when I'm exercising. I feel so much better when I look good. If you look good, you feel good. I'm going on. I could go on forever. I have so many things to talk about. So much to say. I could just talk forever. But for now, TTFN.